I guess the honeymoon is over. We have gone for the wedding. We have come to Old Trafford and sang and danced and celebrated the union between Michael Carrick and Manchester United. But I guess the honeymoon is over because we just absolutely are coming back from a loss. And that loss was against Newcastle in the most devastating way possible. The final minute, Fergie time, Osula steps up and bangs the ball in the back of the net like a Zeev. We just came back from the honeymoon. He absolutely took our bride in that situation. But one thing is for sure, football is all about bouncing back. Football is all about how you can come back from a devastating loss against Newcastle. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. Today is Manchester United versus Aston Villa March preview. And this is the best part about it. It is so good. I am so excited for this particular one. And we are going to be talking about how the games are going to be played. We're going to be talking about what are the stakes we are going to move to. What are the prediction lineups? We are also going to find a way to move to the best part of things, the prediction of the game and how the game would go about and how Manchester United can absolutely win this game of football without sweating. Because one thing is for sure, Aston Villa are having some problems with injuries, and that is where we are going to capitalize. So without further ado, guys, let's get this party started. Let's talk about this game, and let's get the situation going. So the question is, will United bounce back? Or will Aston Villa come to Old Trafford and use it like an Airbnb for all 3 points? That's the question we are going to answer today. Let's go. So talking about Manchester United's home form, it has been okay. You get me? We have been playing better. The team has absolutely been capitalizing. It's hilarious sometimes. We have to be able to put context between every loss. We have to be able to not be reactionary with every single loss that happens when we are watching Manchester United, especially for those ones that are all about their content is talking about the bad things. You have to be able to celebrate the good things even while your team is not going through the best scenario. You get me? You have to be able to celebrate it. Now, Villa's away form is a little bit shaky. We know that Villa can be got this season. We know that they're going through a lot of injuries. We know that they're going through a lot of things. And the funny thing about it, you look at both teams today, you look at both teams and you can realize how the injury is devastating both teams. Now, let's start with Aston Villa. Jadon Sancho is suspended with a red card. How he got a red card, I will never know. But in researching for this video, Jadon Sancho has a red card. So he's not the freedom fighter. Not going to be playing against Manchester United. Anyway, in this situation, I don't understand what the situation is with Jadon. But it just looks like dude is never going to get his career back intact without leaving that girl Sweetie. All of a sudden, the only thing Jadon Sancho is known about in football world is that he's dating Sweetie, and that is just ridiculous. However, they are missing Matty Cash with a calf injury, which is going to be a few days he will be out. They are also missing Boubacar Kamara, who is absolutely one of the major losses that Aston Villa has been facing with this dip in form that they have had so far. Losing to Chelsea, losing to Wolverhampton Wanderers, drawing with Leeds, all those things, and also losing to Newcastle. All those things are things that have directly come with the fact that Boubacar Kamara is not going to be here. And the funny thing about it is that he's not going to be back until June, early June of 2026. So he might still see this year in terms of football, but he probably not see this season at all anymore. And then you also have an injury with Yuri Tillemans. And that right there is where the difficulty also comes in, because Tillemans is their creative base. He's the one that links in the defense with the offense. The good thing about it is that McGinn has come back from injury. The captain, fantastic, has come back from injury, so he's going to be present against Manchester United. And then you look at Manchester United's injury list. Lisandro Martinez has had this calf injury. And the funny thing about this calf injury with Lisandro Martinez, usually the calf injury will take some weeks maybe, and he's bounced back. But right now, I don't know. I think Lisandro is going on 2-3 weeks of injury, of not being in the team. And that's where the difficulty comes in for me, particularly because I'm like, oh my God, we can't pass out of the back. We can't break lines. We can't get the ball to Bruno with Bruno in the half space because of the lack of Lisandro Martinez. And another baffling one that I just do not understand what is happening is Matthijs de Ligt out of Manchester United. Matthijs de Ligt has been injured with a back injury for the longest time. This is going on 3-4 months, if I'm not mistaken. And it's weird because nobody tells us anything. There was a time Ruben Amorim said, Matthijs de Ligt will be back in the next game. All of a sudden, Amorim gets fired, Michael Carrick comes in, and Matthijs de Ligt is still not even on grass playing football. I don't understand what kind of back injury it is. I do know that back injury can be very, very stagnant, and it can be very, very persistent when it comes to inflammations and things like that, or slip disc or things of that nature. But come on, tell us what is going on so we can put our minds, we are not going to have Matthijs de Ligt for this much. Instead of you just basically capping and telling us that he's going to come back sooner than later. And then we also have Patrick Dogu, Ballon Dogu. Ballon Dogu, of course, has a hamstring injury. Those ones are things that you just don't mess with because usually it starts from hamstring injury, calf injury, your Achilles gets popped. So let's hope that that doesn't happen to Ballon Dogu. But we move. And Manchester United's team form so far has been one of the best. It was the best in the Premier League with not losing in 2026. But of course, Newcastle changed that for us. But we won against Crystal Palace, won against Everton, drew against West Ham, and won against Tottenham Hotspur. That right there, pretty good run. And of course, Newcastle definitely spoiled the run. However, Manchester United are coming back. We are looking at a team that wants to bounce back to winning ways. And that right there is the key for Manchester United and Michael Carrick. And then let's look at the tactical breakdowns. You understand? The tactical breakdowns on how things are going to be tomorrow. The most likely approach for Manchester United is going to be, how would Michael Carrick respond to his first defeat? You understand? Is he going to do adjustments to the build-up? Is he going to be pressing from the front? Is he going to have a midfield structure that he's going to change? Maybe bring Manu Ugarte in? Those are the questions that we are going to be answering. But one thing is for sure, Michael Carrick's personality is really calm. We know that for sure. He does not have the two highs of the two highs or the two lows of two lows. I think this is going to be a situation where he comes into this game still with the same intent of how he played against Newcastle is how he will play against Aston Villa. The only difference in terms of instruction, I would say, is that instead of you so focused on playing the ball towards Matheus Cunha in order for him to win the ball against Kieran Trippier, which Matheus Cunha, I would definitely hold you in contempt because not winning long balls against Kieran Trippier is absolutely a crime in my book. It's a crime in my book because Trippier feels like 5'2". He feels like 5'2", and you look like a 6'1" man. And so if he's out jumping you, there's a problem. Big problem. However, this is the way I'm thinking. We absolutely need to focus on how we can have balance. Have balance. We are going to be playing against people that are not as tall as Dan Burn. It's going to be Ian Matson on one side and maybe Victor Lindelof on the other. So you have the opportunity where Mbeumo can, of course, win the long balls against Matson. Not like as if he had an opportunity against Dan Burn, against Newcastle, so the ball never came to him. But he's going to have an opportunity to get the ball against Ian Martin. And of course, Matheus Cunha could absolutely win the ball against Victor Lindelof. Now, I've always told you guys about the situation that I believe we have a lack of balance when it comes to our two flanks. Matheus Cunha loves to play the situation, but we do not have Luke Shaw in his young days anymore where he can bomb down that flank to give the width to Matheus Cunha so he can step inside. So I don't know if it will make sense to play both of them in the same team, but Luke Shaw is one of our best players this season, so it's hard for me to take him out. And then you look at Aston Villa's game plan. Aston Villa's game plan is always the same. Unai Emery is a very stubborn man. Even when he wasn't having his first midfield with Kamara again and Tillemans all out. He was still playing the same way. He is not someone that goes into a shell because he doesn't have the right players. He is going to be in a compact mid block. So he's going to have Ian Martin and Victor Lindelof basically squeeze in or bomb forward when they can. They are dangerous in wild rotations. So the likes of what's his name, Bailey and Rogers is always going to keep on moving. It's going to keep on moving, and that right there is going to be crucial for us to absolutely be able to win this game. If we do not stop the threat between Bailey and Rogers switching positions, running left and right, switching with Bendia. I think that's his name. Bendia, not Benyede. Bendia. If we do not find a way to stop them being dangerous in that situation, we already know that Rodgers can punish us himself single-handedly because he was the one that won the game against us in Villa Park. He won the game single-handedly. So we cannot allow him to do the same thing. And of course, Villa love counterattacks so much that they should trademark them at that situation. Just call them Villa counter. Because at this point, they are waiting. They will sit in that mid block, give you so many opportunities with Mings and Konsa in that back line holding the time. But the moment they get that ball, it's going to Rodgers. It's going down the flank. That's the same thing we saw against Rodgers versus Euro. Because the moment they got that ball, Mings pinged it over to the flank. Rodgers got there. And of course, Euro was absolutely waiting for Rodgers to get the ball, turn around, and then go against him. That's a problem. So Euro, this is something that you need to redeem yourself for. And so that's what Aston Villa are going to do. They are going to counter and try to counter us. We need to be clever at how we move in situations. Now, the key tactical questions that both teams will need to answer: can United control the transitions? If we can, we win this game. If Aston Villa win in terms of transitions, let's just give it up. We are going to lose 3 points. And this game is not just 3 points. It feels like a 6-point swing because Aston Villa are right on our behind when it comes to third and fourth place. So we need to be careful. We need to be clever, and we need to win this game. Will Aston Villa high line survive the likes of Cunha and the pace of Benjamin Sesko? That's also another question. If they bring the high line as high as the way they used to, or the way they did against Chelsea, it's going to be a problem. Because if Chelsea can punish you with Pedro Neto, João, and whoever plays on the right-hand side for Chelsea, I've forgotten because it's just so many people. Manchester United, Cunha, Sheshko, Buemo, and Bruno Fernandes will punish you every single day. And of course, another thing is, can Maino dictate the tempo? If Maino can dictate the tempo, we absolutely win this game, mark my words. And that's the key part about this situation. Maino has to be the person winning this midfield battle. He's going to be the one connecting the defense to the attack. If he doesn't control that, we lose this game. Will United defense stay organized or freestyle like the jazz band? That's a situation. Because what we have seen lately is that when Manchester United lose key players in our defense, all of a sudden, everybody just starts falling. Everybody just starts falling. It's literally like a domino effect. Everybody starts falling. And that is a problem. And we need to solve it too. You get me? Of course, the key battles in this game is going to be Bruno versus Douglas Luiz or Amadou Onana. But I believe it's going to be Douglas Luiz because it's not time for you to bring in McGinn. It's going to be Benjamin versus Tyrone Mings or maybe Pau Torres, depending on who they play. And of course, in the wings, it's going to be Bryan Mbeumo versus Ian Martin. And of course, in the midfield, it's going to be Kobbie Mainoo versus Amadou Onana or John McGinn if they bring him back into the team. Now, the situation is that we do not want to see any arms thrown. We want to see a professional game. We want to see a game where both teams absolutely just go in and finish the job. They go in for them to absolutely try. And Manchester United, with the quality they have, with the ability that they have, with the form that they are showing, should go in there and win this game of football. Now, we get to the predicted 11 for Manchester United. My predicted 11, of course, is going to start with Son Elements. Son Elements is going to start with Son Elements. And then you're going to have Mazraoui in this particular game. Yes, Harry on the right hand side, Lenny Yoro as the right centre back, Harry Maguire as the left centre back, and I believe this is going to be a time where we bring on Diego Dalot as the left back. Diego Dalot of the left back. This is going to be the situation because I believe Brandon Buemo can handle Ian Martin by himself with limited bounce when it comes to Mazarawi. We can't have both Mazar and Luke Shaw in the same team because we are not going to have any overlaps or underlaps. And then in the midfield is going to be Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, and Bruno Fernandes. I think this is one of the best midfields that we have found so far this season. So they continue on. In the attacking lineup, this is where it breaks my heart because Ahmad has been one of our best players this season. He just has not had the opportunities in terms of when Michael Carrick came in, he played first. And he played first with Benjamin Šeško going on the bench. And now Benjamin Šeško is finding form. And Ahmad's form kind of reduced a little bit. So Ahmad is going to go out and is going to come in the second half against tired legs. I think that's going to be brilliant for Ahmad right now. So it's going to be Brandon Buemo on the right-hand side, Mateus Cunha on the left, and Benjamin Šeško in the middle. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. If you absolutely love this video, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the follow button, and subscribe. Make sure you share it to someone. But if you do not like it, blame it on Michael Carrick's first loss. I'll see you guys in the next one.